Will third time be the charm, Internet? I sincerely hope so. I am back. This is all getting very repetitive, so fingers crossed things can go off without a hitch. This is my special live stream to mark 200 subs, just past 208 to be precise. So thank you very much, everyone, for getting involved in the channel the last few months. There's been a real surge. And later on, I'm going to do a live watch of the Buffy episodes Amends from season 3, one of the classic episodes. And why not? Since we've just had Christmas, why not have the one true Buffy themed Christmas episode? It's really a biggie. Hello, Hero. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for staying with me. Hopefully, third time is the charm. Yes. Yeah, the stream seems much stronger this time, so hopefully we can have a good night, have a good 2 or 3 hours. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, thank you everyone for supporting the channel. As I said, I will be doing a Buffy live stream, a Buffy live watch later on, Amends, one of my favourite episodes, and also taking suggestions from you, sort of how I can improve the channel, but also what would you like me, if I can get out the words, what would you like to see me watch and review on the channel? What films, what TV shows? So that's going to be the sort of stream. I'm not bad, thanks, Hero. I got back from London yesterday. Just got back, bit of a long day, bit earlier this year. Normally spend New Year down there, but I'm back nice and early. And yeah, ready to get back in the swing. Just gonna have a quiet new year here. Decent Christmas, pretty typical really. Got a few nice things. Watched a few films on TV. Had a bit to eat. How was your Christmas, Hero? I remember you saying you were having a pretty quiet one. Right. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully I can cheer you up a little bit tonight. I don't want to, if you don't want to talk about it, but hopefully I can take your mind off it a little bit. Thanks for supporting the channel. I hope so. I hope so. So a bit later, do you want to watch Buffy with me? Do you want to watch the episode with me? It's Amends, if you can find it somewhere. Whoa, 4 people watching. It's going up. Pretty good for me. Oh, back to 3 now. God damn it. But it seems, I think I figured out what the problem was. I think it's because I was trying to upload a video at the same time, and I think it was weakening the sort of stream quality for whatever reason. So I've sort of come out of that. I've sort of cancelled the video for now, and I mean, it's saved, so I just need to upload it later, so that's fine. This is the priority, folks. Okay, no problem, Hero. It'll be fun chatting and watching anyway. I take it you've seen the episode before, because I think you've seen pretty much all of Buffy, haven't you? It's really one of those big mythology type episodes. A big one for Buffy, Angel. Really dark as well, although the ending is much more sort of upbeat. But one of the more darker episodes of the show. But we'll obviously wait a bit to put the episode on, yeah, give people a chance to roll in and maybe see if anyone wants to watch the episode. But besides that, as I said, just general chat and suggestions for the channel, really. Um, and yeah, the video I was uploading, by the way, is a Gilmore Girls review, so that'll be up sometime in the coming hours. Episode 6 of the first season, so that's kind of one of those older retro type reviews I'm sort of doing on and off. But episode 6, yeah, it's pretty good fun. So that review's coming up later on. It's called Rory's birthday parties. Okay. Okay, we have our first suggestion of the night from Renegade, Sherlock, as in the BBC one. I'll keep it in mind, Hero. It's one I've been meaning to watch. I never got round to watching it. Obviously, I heard good things. Certainly, the casting was really good, and I know Stephen Moffat has a good reputation. Also, with it being a BBC series, it is quite short, so that's another advantage. So, okay, Sherlock, that's yeah. I mean, I don't always like stuff like that, but I think there is something to the Sherlock Holmes character, especially when he's done well, and the relationship with Watson. And you've got talented people involved. So yeah, I'll consider doing that, Hero. I'll try and maybe look into doing it in the new year sometime. Grimm, okay. Yeah, Grimm's another one I've been looking at. David Greenwalt's involved in that, who was involved in Angel and the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as a friend of ours would say. This Angel, the spin-off of Buffy, of course. So yeah, David Greenwalt. It's an anthology show, isn't it, Grimm? I think something like that. Anyway, it looked, promising. So yeah, I'm taking all these ideas down. I won't necessarily do all of them, or yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't use that. That's an in joke between me and Hero. We won't. We'll leave it open to you guys. Our Doctor's back. Thanks for staying with us, Doctor. Our Doctor, are you on the Buffy boards? I never realised that. No, me and Hero know each other from another YouTube channel, which we're both subscribers to, called Mild Fuzz, which I highly recommend. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I do remember reading the premise. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Grimm is down, Sherlock's down for possible reviews. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really great channel, Doctor. I highly recommend it. So how was your Christmas, Doctor? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a quick one for me. I got back yesterday from London, back here for the new year. So, I mean, sort of speaking of mild fuzz, and I mean, this is something a lot of YouTube channel and a lot of, you know, so-called critics have been doing recently is that, you know, end of decade lists, end of year lists. So, I mean, I've been doing the same on this channel. So you can already find my top 10 TV episodes of the year. You can also find my top 10 TV shows of the year and also my top 10 movies of the year. Those videos are already up on the channel. But coming up in the next couple of weeks, I will be doing my top 20 TV shows of the last 10 years to mark the end of the decade, and also my top 20 films of the last decade, the 2010s. Maybe a bit harder to choose with the film ones, actually. Partly because I think I've just seen more films over the last 10 years than I have TV shows. And I think with TV shows, more stand out in a way. More, I've got a clearer idea in my mind what I would put on the list. Yeah, yeah, it's on the channel. Top 10 movies. Yeah, you'll have to see if you agree with some of my picks, Hero. Hopefully, I can introduce you to some movies as well. Pretty good year for coming of age films, I would say. Top 50, yeah, is that for the decade? Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, I could do it because I watch a lot of movies for my show to review for that. So, I mean, you know, I have watched hundreds and hundreds of movies this decade, so I could do a 50 for the decade, but it would be very hard. You're right. I would have to go back over previous years and see what I ranked highly. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, the top 20 films of the decade and the top 20 TV shows of the decade coming up. I hesitated. I don't know why I hesitated, but I did. But that's coming up next couple of weeks. Also, on New Year's Day, some of you all know this, there's going to be a new BBC slash Netflix version of Dracula coming up, a modern updating of that tale. And that's going to be Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss involved, who has some horror pedigree. And I mention it because I'm going to be reviewing that on the channel. So you can expect it's basically over 3 nights. So it's New Year's Day and then over 3 nights, and then it's going up on Netflix, all 3 episodes, the following weekends. So you can expect a review of that coming up on the channel. So I'll try and have the first review up as soon as, not long after the first episode has aired. Yeah, it will be Hero. The guy playing him is, I think, a Danish actor who was in this movie Square or The Square, which was like this really art house film. Came out last year. I still haven't seen it. It's meant to be good. I know it's on my Netflix queue thing list, as they call it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. Certainly by the trailer, it looks like they've gone for something a bit different for an update. So yeah, reviews of that to come. I might also, if I can fit it in, I might also. I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, and I don't follow it, but I might go for a review of the new series of that. Also, Picard coming up, the new spin-off series coming up. That's in January, so I'm going to give Picard a try. I mean, maybe it'll fill the void for Star Trek Discovery, which I still expect at some time next year, but I'm not quite sure when. But Picard's coming in January on Amazon, so I think I might check out that and review it for the channel. Try and think what else. There's that new Stephen King Outsider based on one of his stories. That's coming up. That's a HBO show, I believe. So that could be interesting. And finally, the UK's getting The Deuce season 3, the final season. That's in January, and that's like 4 or 5 months after the States got it for some reason. So that's really bizarre. Normally we get it about the same time, but that's coming up next week, in fact. So I'm excited to see the new season of The Deuce. Did you see the Sky Comedies movies? What do you mean, Doctor? Just the channel? I don't have that channel, so no. Really, we've got enough, with everything I'm sort of subscribed to and my DVDs. There's sort of enough of that, really. But no, not subscribed to Sky Comedies. So I was taking suggestions from Hero for shows or films I can review on the channel in the future. So, Doctor, do you have any ideas? Let's continue with TV shows. Mostly, yeah. I know you're a big video game fan, Hero. I've not really played video games for a while. Not, just occasionally with friends. But yeah, I know you're really into your gaming. Any favorite games you want to shout out? Just for the purposes of the stream, I think I know some of them, but so Doctor, any ideas you have for any shows I can review on the channel? Any suggestions? Old or new? Obviously older might be good just to fill that niche, as I'll be keeping on top of a lot of new shows anyway. Right, Sonic Generation, probably. Yeah, I certainly have fond memories of playing Sonic during my youth. Oh, Doctor, should I let him? Should I let him? Yeah. The end of the mother effing world. Yeah, good suggestion, Doctor. I think that might fit quite well on the channel. I've only seen one episode. I did watch the first episode. Sort of. I know it is. It's just I had to okay the comment because it was coming up with that. But yeah, I did quite like the first episode. So I'll put that on the list. I may well do that. And it's only 2 seasons in, so I won't have much to catch up with. Okay. Haunting of Hill House is a good one. That's really a great show. Really impressed with that. The only, yeah, I saw it when it came out. I thought, pardon. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was one of the best shows of that year. And it may or may not appear on my best shows of the decade. It was really impressive. Mike Flanagan, of course, who recently did Doctor Sleep, which I liked a fair bit. You can find that review on the channel as well. So what I'll say about stuff like that is, I mean, I would like to review it, but it's a bit tricky just because it's an ongoing show. Although obviously it's a standalone story, and now what's going to happen is Mike Flanagan, he's now going to do another standalone story as part of the same series. He's going to be doing a version of The Turn of the Screw, which of course was reviewed, was a film, was made into a film in the 60s, I want to say. The Innocents, one of the classic ghost stories, which actually I cheap plug, but yeah, cheap plug, but I did a review of that on the channel. Yeah, I remember I did miss that hero, but I remember you guys commenting on that. So it did sound like one of those things, one of those first movies. He had very little money to spend on it. Maybe he was still finding his feet. But I'm a pretty big Flanagan fan. I mean, most of the stuff since. I mean, I sort of agree with what Pete says about his storytelling being a bit shaky, but yeah, next year that's the one I'm talking about. Flanagan's doing it as another standalone sort of anthology, so it's part of like the Haunting series. So Haunting of Hill House was the first one, and then he's tackling that. So that should be coming in October, I'd say, around about October, so Halloween time again. Yes, the hilariously named Finn Wolfhead from Stranger Things fame. So yeah, to get back to my point, Doctor, it's a bit tricky with an ongoing thing like that. But what I'll do is I'll try and fit in Haunting of Hill House before the new one, if you see what I mean. Um, I can't promise anything because obviously things get quite busy, but it is harder with a more recent and ongoing show like that. Um, so let's see. I'll put America Horror Story down. Another anthology type show. Again, it's another one. What is it, like 7 seasons? So that could be a bit of a barrier. Bit tricky. I've only ever seen one episode of that, which didn't blow me away, I have to say, but it was just one episode, so I might give it another go. But again, I think what I'll say about stuff like that is obviously I might give something like that a try, but if I'm not so keen on it, I might drop it. I'll give it a decent try. I won't just drop it after like 2 episodes, but it does depend because it, if I'm really not enjoying it and I'm not getting a lot out of it and I'm just saying a lot of the same things, then it's probably not worth continuing. Also, because it's already 7 season in, then it's a big ask to catch up. But I've put it on the list. I was thinking of doing some horror TV, so I'll try and get to it at some point. Stranger Things, yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I did start reviewing the third season on the channel, which I need to go back to at some point. So who knows? I mean, at the end of Stranger Things, I might do the whole thing again, but I've sort of started from the third season, so I'll leave Stranger Things for now. Let's see. Black Mirror I'll put down. That's a good one. Again, that fits into a niche sort of anthology type thing. And I hear great things about that. I've only actually seen one episode, which is the episode from season one with Jodie Whittaker in. So, and I like that. Um, so yeah, it is one of my sort of blind spots. So Black Mirror is on the list. BoJack Horseman. I'll pull it down. Um, I'm not sure about that one just because it's a comedy. And I think again it's quite tricky reviewing comedies because a lot of times, even if you like them, you know, there's not always a lot to say with comedies. Um, but I could maybe do what I'm doing at the moment with Seinfeld, where I'm just doing a video for each season. So like just commenting on them generally. So although I'm sort of doing it more with classic sitcoms there. I know BoJack Horseman is ongoing, but it's one I might watch anyway, and I might feature it somehow. So I've put it on the list. And also, I see Almost Human. So just one season. So that certainly helps its cause of getting reviewed on the channel. Carl Urban, who I hear great things about. I've not seen that Dread film, but I hear he's good in it. So Almost Human is on the list. That's one I'll consider. Seems like it could fit quite nicely onto the channel. Thanks for that, Hero. Okay. I'll give it a look. I'll see if I can find it. Okay. Thanks for that, Doctor. The Boys. No, I've not seen it. I hear good things. I know that's an Amazon one, so that's quite easy access. Um, Again, I think it's that issue of it's an ongoing show. We've had the first season, and again, it's only one season, so I mean, I could catch up with it before season two, but it's just with everything else, things tend to stack up. But yeah, it's one I've put down. I'll consider it. Um, yeah, there you go. Hero showing her true colours. A Sonic cartoon was the last show she watched. What's it called? The Sonic cartoon. Is it one of these cheesy cartoons you find on the Cartoon Network or something? Or is it something a bit more upmarket than that? Um, well, busy just with my radio show and stuff like that, really, Doctor, and this channel, mostly. I don't have a paid job at the moment, which is fine by me, in a way. Yeah, I've got one more week of Sonic Boom. Oh, there you go. See, I knew it. I knew it. Cartoon Network. I never heard of Sonic Boom. And you know what? What the hell? It's going on the list, hero. Number 9. If you can, you probably can't see that, but number 9, Sonic Boom. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's followed it, but on my radio show, I've been doing top 50 science fiction movies, and that's to mark the end of me looking at sci-fi. Um, and a guy's been doing it with me. He's been doing his own list. And this coming week, we finish it off. It's the top 10. So my top 10 sci fi, his top 10 sci fi movies. And that'll round up the list. Should be an interesting discussion. No, it's a community station, Doctor, so it's volunteer. So yeah, no paid. You don't get paid for it. Which is a shame because that would be ideal if I could get paid for that. But it's a lot of fun anyway. It's a good experience. But yeah, so that's coming up this Thursday. It'll be the end of our top 50 sci fi lists, a top 10. And it's going to be very interesting because I think the top 10s are going to be quite different. Um, There's been a fair bit of overlap on the list, but I sort of have a feeling the top 10 will be different. Yeah, it looks good on the CV, absolutely. And then the following week, I'm going to switch to TV. I'm going to switch to television on the show. So just to explain this, I've heard of the film Hero. I've heard it. I hear good things. Radio jocks, so a nice sort of link there. So okay, films. So I'll put Pontypool down for films. Okay. Sounds good because I do a lot of horror reviews anyway. So Pontypool's down for films. Um yeah, so as I was saying, I mean just to give you the setup of the radio show, for the last, well, 2.5, just over almost 3 years actually, I've been covering film on the show. So each week I sort of look at film in a different genre. So I sort of I go through those. I go through each genre, each subgenres in detail. I sort of go in order and look at the various films and the history of the genre. Um, and sort of subgenres and things like that. And I had this idea to do lists when I get to the end of genres. So I did a top 50 comedy films when I got to the end of comedy, and so I'm just doing the same for sci-fi. But so I've decided to do the same for TV, and that will be coming up the week after next. So I'm going to start. at the start of TV, when TVs were first invented, some of the early shows, obviously things like adverts and stuff, obviously looking at some of the differences between TV and film. And really, it's just a fascinating way to look at how TV started and how it has changed and how we arrive at the current point where it is, the equal to cinema. And we're living in this golden age of TV. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the show. I'll be working my way through all the different categories, genres, and just building up to the kind of the current golden age and this new different quality of TV we now live in. Um, Really starting with the early showrunners and with Twin Peaks as the show that kind of kicked it all off, and working my way through all these quality HBO style shows. And doing lists as well. And I think it's going to sort of culminate in my like top 50 TV shows list, top 50 ever TV shows list. So that's coming up on my radio show. That'll be the week after next. So next Thursday, I finish off my sci-fi list. The week after, I will be starting on television, chapter one of my look at TV. So I'm excited for that. So lots coming up. And it's still a film show as well. I'll still do the occasional film special and still cover film. But TV is taking the priority in the new year. So just to plug that. So Doctor mentioned the Creep films. I've not seen either. I'm assuming you mean the one with Mark Duplass in. I've not seen either, so I'll put those down because I've heard good things. I know they're like found footage films. That's what I've heard of them. And Mark Duplass, I always hear good things. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Creep 2004. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I've seen bits of that one, and it looked really bad. But hey, who says I can't review bad movies? So I'll probably watch that one as well. I like the actress at least. She was in The Bourne Identity and also Run Lola Run, which is a great film. So I've put down the Creep movies, all three. So I think we're pretty much on to films now, unless anyone has any other TV show ideas. But I think Knife Edge. Okay, I've not heard of that one, Hero. I'll pull it down. I mean, a lot of this depends on if I can find these films, but I'll put Knife Edge down. And just for you, Hero, at some point I'll be reviewing those infamous house films. 4 of the buggers, and I'll be reviewing every single one. Okay. White collar does not look like my sort of show. And I know it's got the actor, I think, out of True Calling in, who's rubbish. He's really wooden. um, but I've put it down. It's not going to be top priority hero, but I've put it down. I might suffer through some of it just for you. We'll see. Not seen The Pursuit of Happiness. Again, it didn't look that great, but I've put it on the list, Doctor. The Pursuit of Happiness is on the list. Yeah. Well, we'll see, Hero. I might well get to it one day. I mean, this is a long term thing. Now, again, it's one of those things. There's obviously a lot of seasons of it, and from the little I know of it, it doesn't look like my sort of thing. But I'll give it a go, and if I'm not really into it, then I'll probably drop it. But it won't be for a while, is what I'm saying. It's not really top priority, but I'll consider maybe giving it a go. You never know. Sometimes shows surprise you. So we have What's Eating Gilbert Grape. That's a great suggestion, Doctor. I love that movie. Yeah, I've got that on DVD, so that's an easy one for me. So I'll definitely review What's Eating Gilbert Grape in the future. An early Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio performance. They're both very good in it. Mary Stumberger, however you say her name's in it. Really good actress. Juliette Lewis, fantastic actress. So yeah, one that tends to get forgotten now, but that's a really good film. I'll probably do that pretty soon. And I'm writing down the House movies as I speak, Renegade, just to remind me. Let's see what other wacky suggestions Hero is coming up with. Blood Creek. Oh, okay. Michael Fassbender, Henry Cavill. The villain is a Nazi zombie vampire. Because of course he is. Okay. It's going on the list. Getting some very diverse suggestions here, which I like to see. Big Fassbender fan. Not so keen on Cavill from what I've seen, but people seem to like him. We'll see. I'm assuming that's a pre-fame Fassbender and Cavill. Which movie with Elijah Diskew, Doctor? She's been in a few. Do you mean Wrong Turn, the horror movie? Which I've seen and I quite enjoy. I'll probably do that one day. If you do mean Wrong Turn. That night, is that the Dishku one? That night, okay. Yeah, I might have heard of it. I'm putting it on the list anyway. That night. Okay. And Little Miss Sunshine, another good suggestion. So we're getting some diverse choices, which I'm pleased to see. Okay. Which one's on YouTube? Is that night? Okay. Yeah, Discu has popped up all over the place over the years. I only realised not too long ago she was in True Lies as well. She was the kid in that, so she tends to pop up all over the place. I mean, True Calling's another one I'll probably review at some point since there's only two seasons. Um, and that's a nice little genre type show, which has a good sort of concept to it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do need to mix it up quite a bit, but I mean, horror's just, a pretty big passion of mine. And also, the reviews on the channel and the live streams of horror movies tend to get some good responses. So, but you're right, I do need to mix things up a little bit with films. So, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I mean, certainly some of the films you've mentioned. What's Eating Gilbert Grape was a good suggestion. That I can definitely see doing a review of. And since that Dishkey one is on YouTube, I'll maybe do that one as well. I'll just make a note of True Calling because that's one I can see doing definitely. Maybe do a Buffyverse season with all Buffyverse active movies. Yeah. Yeah, I did actually catch up with the Transfiguration Hero. I remember you doing that stream, and then I watched it. I think there's a copy on YouTube, so I watched it on YouTube, I think. And that's one I highly recommend to all horror fans. A really, um, sort of really back to basics, really interesting twist on the vampire movie. Yeah, very different way to do it. Very sort of grounded and realistic. So Transfiguration really impressed me, but yeah, I'll put it on the list because I've not. It's one I've not reviewed certainly on the channel. So Transfiguration. Yeah, that was one of the real surprises over October, which I saw. So Transfiguration is on the list. They look like people. So I'm putting that on the list as well. Okay. Will I, Doctor? I'm not sure what that means to be honest, but but fair enough. They look like people. Is that on Shudder? Again, that's another one I remember being mentioned. It's on the list, as is The Lovely Bones. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of The Lovely Bones. I've seen it a couple of times. Saw it at the pictures. Yeah. I think I preferred it first time around, and then it just went downhill a bit when I saw it again on TV. It's a very uneven film. But, the public wants what they want. I'll be happy to watch it again and then review it on the channel. Target audience is teens. That's interesting. Do you just mean if I did the films like you suggest, or that sort of more slightly more mainstream film, or do you just mean that I should be targeting more teens in general because they make up more of YouTube audience? Is that what you mean, Doctor? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Certainly a lot of Saoirse Ronan fans. And she's great. I mean, she's good in that movie. The cast isn't the problem. It's other stuff that's the problem. Yeah, I agree, Doctor. As many different demographics as possible. Stepmom. Okay. Now I hope I don't use my lose my street cred, but I do quite enjoy Stepmom. It's a good weepy. So Stepmom's gone on the list. We're getting a bit of everything tonight. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Doctor. I never really thought about that. I mean, the channel's going well, it's progressing well, but I see what you mean. Yeah, Fault in the Stars I hated. I thought that was just trash. Just sentimental crap, I'm afraid. Um, I do, Hero, I do. I'm a big fan of classic Disney. I like Studio Ghibli films. I like a lot of these more like ambitious, like horror for kids type films, or I like some anime type films. There's this great film from the 90s called Perfect Blue, which is pretty mind blowing for the time. And that's a film I'll review on the channel. In fact, I'll put that on the list. Um, yeah, I was going to say, Doctor, because I'm sort of looking to do up to date films and stuff anyway, then I maybe wouldn't do films that are too recent. I think there's a I'm not a fan of Fault in Their Stars